It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That, of course, was Testament. If you didn't know that, you need to turn off the radio now. That's brand new stuff from the Titans of Creation. The name of that tune is World War III. And on the line right now is the vocalist, the main man of Testament himself, Mr. Chuck Billy. Chuck, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good, man. Cannot complain too much, I guess. I guess everybody can complain in these times, but doesn't
I know, right?
Doesn't do any good now, does it?
No, not at all. I just got to kind of do the right thing and stay in and get through it.
Exactly. Well, man, the obvious first question, and I'm not going to dwell on this, but how are you feeling, man? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. Yeah, I mean, the worst of it was probably the first 10, 12 days. We were feeling pretty ill and just couldn't shake it. And, of course, we didn't get the fever and all that, but we definitely had the achy body and no smell and taste and headaches. And it was like that, and we started feeling better probably the last 4 or 5 days. I wouldn't say we're better, but we're feeling much better. I think just we're over the hump now. So
sure. Well, obviously, man, not just us, but the entire metal community is happy that you're feeling better, and certainly our hopes are with you and with your other touring mates, not just Testament, but obviously Death Angel and Exodus as well. We hope everything works out for everybody. So,
yeah, so far everybody. I mean, Will from Death Angel is the only one who, he's in his hospital on a respirator, and just all positive thoughts and waiting to hear, good news from that.
Sure. Definitely. Well, let's move to good news. The good news, of course, being that there is a brand new Testament album, Titans of Creation. It is, I'm going to say it's the best thing that you've done since The Gathering. It is such a great record, man. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It's definitely a different process this time around writing this record. I had a much better time, and the songs were definitely a different take than the Brotherhood song. So I think overall it's a different record, but it's definitely a Testament record.
Sure. Now you mentioned the Brotherhood recording, and when I talked to you about that recording, you mentioned that it was a very non-fun process, that you really did not enjoy making that record. What was it about this time around that changed, that made this one so much more enjoyable to record?
Well, I think we focused and took 9 months off just to get it done, but maybe just different time of our lives. Maybe 4 years ago things were different. Me and Eric just couldn't get the songs finished and completed. Where this time, I think we had finished the Slayer farewell tour, right, and we're kind of fired up and pumped up, and went in the studio, feeling pretty good, and started writing. And we knew we wanted to play a little faster, be a little thrashier. So that was kind of the common goal. And, I think just maybe Eric was just more focused, ready to go, because he started really knocking out riffs and sending them over to me.
Sure. Is that how you're most comfortable writing, is writing around a riff versus coming in with a theme for a song? Yeah.
I mean, it starts on the riff. And usually in the past, I've always been one to kind of fight with Eric on the note selections. Like when when he writes a song, he'll write it with what I'm going to do in mind. Okay. But when I hear it, sometimes I think, well, wait a minute, you're having me sing over that verse riff. I think that should be the chorus riff, and this chorus riff should be the verse riff. So we ended up always kind of rearranging stuff for my comfort, I think. Sure. Where this record, we really didn't do that. I kind of just took all the songs, not even knowing where the leads were going to be, and just kind of wrote melodies and patterns over all the music that I got, and just kind of took it from that point.
Did that lead to, I'm going to assume, a lot less, butting of heads, so to speak? Because I know how you musicians are. Nobody likes to hear that whatever they created needs to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't, just gave more time for Eric just to kind of move on and keep writing riffs and keep writing. As he was doing that, I was taking the songs and working with Del and Zet from Exodus on lyrics, and working out my patterns and the vibe and where it was going. but right away I was getting so much songs and music, unlike the last time, a lot of incomplete stuff. This had a lot of feeling and a lot of foresight. I could tell he can hear the song, what it's going to be.
Sure.
And it just, you know, I don't know, man, it's just that period in your life. We're ready to go.
Yep. Well, and it definitely shows. I mean, there's so many cool songs, like the song we just played, World War III. What a great song, and what a cool breakdown. That riff breakdown there in the middle is one of the thickest things you guys have ever done as a band.
Yeah, songs like that. You know, I mean, there's Eric did a great job. You know, there's a lot of influence of a lot of stuff, and I think there's actually a culmination of everything we've kind of put down on a record on this, you know, and I think even Eric experimenting a little more vocally, having Eric being a little more involved in the lead vocal parts, you know, on this record.
Right.
So just another expansion of the Testament.
Right, certainly. And since you mentioned it, let's talk about the song Night of the Witch. That is probably the most different Testament thing, with Eric kind of taking lead on vocals somewhat, and you adding, you know, that sound to it. But it's a cool song, and surprisingly does not sound different from what you would expect from Testament.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when you hear the vocals, you would go, "Wow, that's different." You know,
Yeah.
that's Chuck singing that, but it's actually Eric. And it's funny because that part, when we wrote that song, I was trying to get that riff out of the song because I wasn't going to sing the witch part,
Right.
and Eric wanted to keep that riff in there. So I'm like, well, okay, well then you're going to be the witch and sing this high screechy part. You know, I know you can do it. You do it on Dragon Lord. So, you know, he laid it down, and it gave it a whole different vibe and feel to the song. You know?
Definitely. Now I'm interested, you know, obviously Eric does have the band Dragon Lord. Is this the first time that he has really kind of taken lead vocal, you know,
as a lead? Yeah. This is the first lead vocal. He's used that voice in background vocals and stuff on a lot of songs, but as far as the lead, this is it. We did this song actually on the Bass Strikes Back tour across Europe that we just finished. We did that song, and he pulled it off every night.
Very cool. Now another great song on the record is the song Symptoms, which, you know, I think I'm guessing here, but lyrically it kind of looks at mental illness as being far more prevalent than we think it is. You know, what possessed you to write that, you know, from that standpoint lyrically?
Well, Alex wrote that song, actually.
Okay.
Me and Zet wrote a different song and presented to Alex, and he didn't care for it. And I guess he had something already in mind. So he wanted to address the mental health, you know, after losing a few musicians, you know, to suicide over mental health problems. You know, he wanted to write something and speak up about it. And, you know, and it's kind of weird. Look at it, have the meaning of that song now with what's going on in the world, and, you know, with us getting sick, with getting the symptoms.
Right.
You know, it's like kind of appropriate.
It definitely is, and it fits right now. And, you know, unfortunately, it became prophetic, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No question. And one other tune, Chuck, that I really wanted to ask you about was City of Angels, which, you know, obviously talks about Richard Ramirez. Who wrote that one, and where's the genesis from that coming from?
Well, the funny story about that song is I didn't want that song on the album at first.
Okay.
To me, when I first heard the song, it's like 7 or 8 minutes long. It's very long.
Right.
And to me, it felt repetitive and too slow for the record, the pace of the record. So the last day of writing in LA with my friend Del, he said, let's hear that song. And I played it for him. And he came back with these lyrics. We had a song called City of Angels, Servant of Satan. And so he said, here, just give this a shot to it. And so I just played the song again and kind of mumbled it out and tapped it out to the lyrics to the song, and it fit. And I was like, holy shit, okay, I think I could work with this. So I went home that next day, and I think 2 days later I recorded the song. And I didn't know how I was going to approach the song or start to sing the song until I started recording. Right. And I approached it with like a different voice, a different texture of the voice. And then I did like some harmonies, which I never do harmonies of myself, and I tried them. And it ended up working out to be something pretty cool. And by the time the recording session was over, I was like, wow, this song came out way better than I thought. And, you know, now I'm feeling it, you know, right. Now it's one of the standout tracks. So it's just kind of weird the way that song came about, you know.
Sure. And it is probably the most, I don't want to say anti-Testament, but the most different sounding song on the record, because it has more of a sludgy doom sort of feel to it, which fits the lyrics, but it's very different from the, like you said, from the rest of the record, which is, you know, pushing the pedal to the floor and going for it.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't really want it at first, but right. After doing it and the outcome of the song, it does give the record now a different dynamic and a dimension to it by adding that song.
Sure, definitely does. Now, Chuck, you know, no secret what we're in right now with this coronavirus and everybody being locked in at home, and it's going to change the industry that, you know, the music industry that you're in. You know, I'm guessing that a lot of places that a band like Testament plays are not going to be there when this is all over, just because they can't withstand the, you know, the financial, you know, burden of this, or they just don't want to go into debt to recover. For you, when you're looking at everything that's changing right now because of this, is it a bit scary thinking that the ability to do what Testament has always done might be shrinking because of this?
Oh, totally. You know, it's especially from what we do. You know, we have to travel the world and away from home and play different venues, and it does make it tougher. But you know, there's always going to be somewhere probably to play. We've been fortunate in a lot of the clubs and venues that we play are a lot of the same ones.
Right.
So, you know, maybe the sign of the times, who knows where it's going to go, but maybe they'll just start becoming back down to the more intimate shows, smaller shows, and being more intimate.
Sure.
Just so bands could play and get out there and keep working.
Right.
Because there's going to be a lot of traffic. There's going to be a lot of bands. There's a lot of bands postponing and canceling that are looking to reschedule. So everybody's agents are going to be looking at all these venues and trying to book their acts there.
Right.
So it's going to get pretty busy and pretty hectic, you know, for a minute once it starts back up.
Right. Do you think that's why so many bands are even though when they can go back on the road is uncertain, that's why everybody's just trying to book now, because if it does come back, you know, on a certain schedule, then they've already got clubs booked?
Yeah. I mean, like right now we have a tour planned September that we've had in motion, you know, talking about it since last year. Now we'll continue to keep trying to put that tour together, especially after, you know, America having to be postponed, and we'll see what happens in Europe for the European festivals. We don't know the outcome yet.
Right.
You know, and if that falls through, then America's the next thing in September's in our books.
Right.
So we'll continue with our agents and continue to try to keep booking the tour and secure the dates and the venues and keep moving forward.
Right, definitely. Now, for you personally, especially after what you've been through with, you know, obviously you're one that has actually had this virus. Will you change how you interact with fans at shows? Will you still do meet and greets, or will you still, you know, reach down and high five people in the crowd or whatnot, or do you have?
I mean, I guess I will, because I mean, it's just, I mean, hopefully we get a grip on this and things kind of get back to the norm. But I think people will probably always still be cautious now, a little more so than they were in the past.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll still try to be normal, but I think, you know, we'll always try to be proactive on trying to do the right thing, either, wear gloves or sanitize or no contact meet and greets or something. We'll figure it out. We'll just have to work with what's happening.
Sure, definitely. So for the time being, since you guys won't be on the road initially promoting Titans of Creation, what does a Chuck Billy do? Do you just sit home? Do you write new songs? Do you plan a solo record?
The songwriting time is not till we all are ready.
Okay.
So right now, since we've did all the work on the record, did the tour, we're just kind of going to chill. I mean, because we had such a busy year booked, we didn't have any time off, but a few weeks in June and a few weeks in September.
Right.
But now it looks like we got a lot of time on our hands. So we'll probably, once things hopefully get a little more normal, try to get out of the house and, do a few things, go visit some family and,
sure.
Just try to do things to get out of the house.
Right.
Really, right now.
Right. A rare break in the Testament machine, right?
Yeah. But, might as well take advantage of it and visit and get some things done and enjoy some time, maybe a little kind of vacation time, I guess. And,
sure.
We weren't going to have any of that. So we'll just take it one day at a time right now. The doctors tell us, we could probably go out and stuff, but I don't know, and they don't know, and
sure.
won't retest you to see if that you're not sick. So it's like, how do I know I'm not contagious? I mean, it's been like shit, 15, 16, 17 days, but
right.
How do I know I'm not contagious? Because I know our bass player just got tested on Thursday, and his test came back on this weekend positive.
Oh, boy.
And so it's like, wow, he just got tested. That was weeks and weeks after we got home. So, man, does that mean I'm still sick still, too?
Right. Yeah.
He got sick right when I did.
Right. And the weird thing, too, is he might not have gotten sick when you did. He could have gotten it from, DoorDash or something, delivering him food. Who knows? It is a weird time,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, but, we're trying to still just do the right thing and stay indoors as much as we can, and
right.
just do that,
Definitely. Well, Chuck, you've given people something anyway to enjoy themselves with, while they're sitting at home. That, of course, being the new album, Titans of Creation. It is Testament. It is as good a Testament record as there is. And Chuck, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track from the album. Maybe tell us a quick story about it. So what would you like us to wrap this one up with?
Well, let's go with the single that's we've got out right now, "Children of the Next Level."
Okay.
There's actually going to be an animated video that's going to be coming out this week for that song. So keep your eye out for that.
Excellent. Well, let's check it out right now. It is "Children of the Next Level." It's Testament right here on your Classic Metal Show.